situation, obviously. But what was interesting, after you came on the show, the message boards light up. The internet light up. It's an immediate response mechanism from people from 8 to 80. And I was very interested to see that there was not a big division between should we tell kids not to have sex or should we tell them to have protected sex. They said, tell them everything. Tell them everything. You know, we want to hear everything. And the young people who came on, especially on the Twitter accounts, were saying, we want to take all of it. I'm going to make my own choice, but I want all the information. Is that square with your understanding, Sarah?
Well, I think that's absolutely right. I mean, there are only two ways to prevent pregnancy, whether you're a teenager or some old lady. And that's either you don't have sex or you use protection really carefully every time. Those are the only two ways to avoid pregnancy. And the reason we're in such trouble in the U.S. is that we have so many young people who are having sex, but they're not using protection. So Bristol's absolutely right to talk about the importance of being able to say no. It's the best choice. It's the only thing you can do that completely avoids pregnancy. For those young people who are having sex, and we know that in the average high school about half of them are, in some high schools it's more and some less, some in middle school. For those young people who are having sex, they either must say, you know, I'm not going to now. You know, just because you've said yes once doesn't mean you have to keep saying yes. You can always say no. But if you're having sex, you have to use protection. So most Americans don't see this as either or. You're absolutely right, Chris. They say the best choice is not to have sex. If you're having sex as a young person, you must use protection. And it's only in the funny city I come from, Washington, D.C., where people pit these things. You have to choose one or the other. In fact, they both have a major role to play. And I think it's unfortunate when we've seen all these arguments about, you know, we choose one or the other. Not having sex is 100% effective. Many young people do. They must use protection. And our message has to be on a day like today is to think about this carefully. You're absolutely right, Ann. So many young people say, you know, I just never really thought about what it would be like to be pregnant or have a baby. And they sure never have made a plan in the moment. What are you going to do in the heat of the moment? Maybe someone's drunk or high. Maybe there's no one around. Maybe you're under a lot of pressure. What's going to be the plan? When young people, even old people, have a plan, they're much better at managing their lives.
So what's the plan? You got me scared now. I'm worried about the next time I'm confronting this situation. What do I do? One of the questions from an audience member is, what do you do if your boyfriend is pressuring you to have sex? I mean, that's the reality. The question's in your face. You think you love this person, or at least at that particular moment. What are you supposed to do? What's the plan? Give me some plans. Who's got plans?
I'll tell you what we tell our readers.
Please.
You know, there are words that you can say that get you out of an uncomfortable situation. If it's an uncomfortable situation, you say, you know, you say, not now, this isn't going to happen, I'm not ready, and then get yourself out of that situation. Leave the room, leave the party, you know, whatever it is. If that's what you want, if that's the situation you want to get out of, then you make sure that you say what you mean, and then you actually put your actions behind it, and that'll immediately alleviate all that sort of pressure. Nobody can pressure you if you're not in the same room with them.
Anything to add, Hayden? Plan. We're thinking strategy here.
Strategy? Well, my strategy's always been, sorry, it's not going to happen. Sorry.
That's called straight talk.
And this is, you might want to, if you say that and they're really not okay with that, you might want to question why they're there, or if they're the right person to be with, right person to be around. Because if you say no and they have a problem with that, then they have a problem. Not you, it's them. And sex and losing your virginity doesn't all of a sudden magically make you an adult. You don't sit there the next day and go, I've grown up now. I feel like an adult. I feel so much different.
That's hilarious.
You don't.
Garza got a big kick out of that.
Hilarious. You know, and she's right, though. You know, it's not like one morning you're reading the comic section, the next day you're reading Wall Street Journal. You know, absolutely have no clue what the hell is going on in the Wall Street Journal.
With your glasses,
But
your reading glasses.
you're doing it. You know, it's like those cartoons. You know, like I used to watch Rugrats. You know,
Me too.
They would, yeah. When one episode they played adults, and what they did was they got up, got dressed, get ready for work, and they started drinking coffee. And they're
That's
like,
so
why
funny.
do they drink this? And, you're not magically going to be an adult, like she said. It doesn't make you, I'm grown up now. You know, there's a lot of stuff that ties into being an adult, like life experience. You know, a lot of, you're talking about pressure. Great way to not deal with the pressure